For purposes of this video and moving forward, there are so many words that people use around the world to describe this population of people that I am talking about. It's gifted, it is high potential, it is Innova brain, neurospicy, neurodivergent with the gifted mind, 2E. There's so many different words for it, but for the purpose of this video, I just want you to know that all of those words, those are the people that I'm talking about. It all comes down to one. It's just there's a lot of words that people use to explain it. So some of the myths that I want to talk about, well, they're not all myths, but there are some just thoughts that we have about the high intelligent people. So I have them here and I look forward to covering them with you. The first one is they get all A's in school. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? They're supposed to be really smart, so they should get all A's and it just should come really easy. Do you know how many people who are of this group, they don't finish school or they never go on to college, and if they do go into college, they drop out? And I mean, how many times have we heard about the dropouts? I mean, Steve Jobs is like the perfect one, right? It's not just those who go on and do really big things, but there are a lot that, because school is so boring, they're already past the information that is being given to them. Their brains literally just shut off, and you'll see them failing classes, or you'll see them pulling through with any other letter grade other than an A. So that is definitely okay. The next one, they are more mature than their peers. This is a really good one, because you know what we often equate intelligence with, especially high intelligence, is maturity. Because if you're really smart, you're just going to navigate social situations. You'll know how to do this, you'll know how to do that. And yeah, it's incorrect to but equate intelligence with maturity. Let me tell you why. Oftentimes when kids, especially I will say, especially the higher they are in IQ, it's called asynchronous development and asynchronous learning. So the asynchronicity of which their body is going through, when they're little, their brains, the neural connections are expanding and growing so quickly. They're taking everything in around their world and processing it. But even though they can be years and grades ahead intellectually, it is not uncommon for them to be years behind in social norms, emotional intelligence. Because and this is oftentimes what a contributing factor to the stress that we see exhibited in these kids. It's this asynchronicity. And also with that asynchronicity, by society and culture not understanding it, they put undue pressure on this little child. Well, if you're really smart and your grades ahead, you should act like someone who is in 9th grade rather than 4th grade. And so it's this pressure, this expectation that comes down on them that is incredibly stressful and can be hard on them. Okay, the next one. High achievers excel. So when it comes to thinking of this population as high achievers excelling in what they do, some of them do excel across the board. Some, I mean, all excel in at least one thing, whether it be athletics, the arts, academics. However, a big piece of that is the motivation. We kind of think that if you are intelligent, you're just going to naturally be motivated to do well. Well, here's the kicker, that boredom is the unspoken death to the gifted brain. And it cannot be understated what the feeling of boredom does. I was actually talking with a profoundly gifted boy, and I said, so what does your brain feel like when you are bored? And his response was, it feels like death. So if this is not your wiring and you don't understand that, you can laugh at that. But for those of us who do know what our brains feel like when we are bored, when we aren't getting that input that we so need, whether it be intellectual input, the physical input, auditory input, whatever it is that our brain has a really high threshold for and need for processing and feeling balanced, it's really hard. And so this is where we see like kids in school. They can be incredibly smart, but they could be getting C's, D's, F's on their report card, and they're bored. And how can you get a bored brain excited to do something and motivated to do something? It is incredibly hard, and it's usually out of reach for these kids when they don't understand what's happening. This can also happen in the workplace. We think that if one of these people, they get a job, they're going to excel, they're going to rise through the ranks. But what happens if they get into this job? They are not understood for what their brain needs. And because of their wiring, they bring something really different, really special to the table, but that's not acknowledged and it's not seen. And so they are given a long-term project to work on that it's pretty much the same thing every day. I guarantee you that brain, that person is going to get so bored, they're going to check out, and they are not going to excel at their work. Kudos to them if they can, but I have not met really anyone with this mind who can handle that long term without intense burnout, anxiety, other things setting in. So those are a couple pieces of kind of myths or thoughts that we equate intelligence with how we think these people will present, this population will behave. And so I guess the final note on this is we are a very complicated group of people. We do not fit into the black and white mold of what people and society think we should, and that intelligence should. We can have too much of something and it can set it off. We can have too little of something and it cannot be right and we don't perform. We can have, it's such a fine balance, and we'll talk about that in a later video, the stimulation thresholds, but it is such a fine balance in this group of people, what our needs are, but if those needs are met, what we can contribute, what we can give back to society is absolutely amazing. And so that's why it is so critical for first, if this is you, for you to understand yourself so you can help educate other people.